kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41, and I was dropped off in Moulton, Alabama, Lawrence County, at a pigsty. This is me, and by the way, this is glossed over. They never looked like that. This is the woman that killed her twins, Peggy and Carl Dempsey, that had born out of wedlock. I was kidnapped and put there and told I was Peggy Dempsey, and I married a Childers. Oh, this was 1943. I was born in 39, and the 99-year seal was put on my dad's forced takedown and my kidnapping. I'm Victoria II, heir to the British Crown. I'm assuming that the Kennedys, JFK and his brother, because his father, I know, was part of the kidnapping, and they were living at the embassy there in England. Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador to England by Roosevelt, and my own uncle got in my kidnapping and the illegal George VI, and therefore Elizabeth, and the illegal treaties that they don't want to tell about me. This was a pigsty. I was so abused. This is me growing up. I just got these photos, by the way, were sent to me. Now, I'm not going to tell about the mind control murders. I was writing about that in 76 to April Fool's Day of 80 when I got antifreeze put in me. So I could go on, and I've only told the truth in this hideous mess called my life, and what's been done to Great Britain, what was done to my parents, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, married to my father, Edward VIII, who never married Wallace Simpson, a double did. It was a takedown by the Jews of my father, and then kidnapping me and putting me over here. And this is how history reads. Now, when I found out in 83 about my kidnapping, all you have to do is look back. Why would you put a 99-year seal on my dad's supposed to have abdicated and married Wallace Simpson? A total lie. And on my birth in 1939. But I've gotten letters, and I don't mean any harm against. I'm trying to get my name back. Telling the truth means harm. It's like, how many people want me dead? Yesterday, my doctor, who I hope he's a good guy, said to me, don't get in any more trouble. And I said, well, I get in trouble by telling the truth. I wrote well, I won't say that. I'm just going to read this. I wrote to the district attorney, and I've got that here of Lawrence County, Moulton, back in November of 2001. I'd written a couple of times to the sheriff there. This is where I grew up. Worked at the city grill slinging hash. Well, I'm trying to laugh, you see, or I'd start screaming. And that's how I deal with it. So one day I hope for justice and my father's name cleared in my country and mine. I'm 76 years old almost, so what's the chance, you know? Media's not going to tell it. Anyway, this is about my kidnapping. This is, they're talking about cherishing the memory of Dr. Price Irwin. By the way, when I got the birth certificates from Montgomery, Alabama, that's the capital, and I was given the date of birth of, supposedly I was given the identity of Peggy Dempsey, and I married Childers. That's what I still have to use. On the birth certificates, Dr. Irwin is IRWIN, which it is right here. Now, when I got a letter from the state trying to explain why there was a difference in dates of birth, somehow Dr. Irvin, they spelled it Irvin, and I've got the letter from the state, several of them, but I'm not going to put that on. You can take my word for it, because I haven't lied about anything. Well, they even made a mistake there and marked through the dates of birth on both Peggy and Carl, the twins, and inserted they just made a mess out of it. First of all, that's illegal to change the birth on a birth certificate, mark through any part of it. And they say so in the letter they got where they misspell Irvin and Irwin. Anyway, it's supposed to be, this whole thing's been a joke, that they can kidnap me. And this is Alabama, where I grew up, where so many people I look back, had to have known. And it's talking about Richard Proctor, let me say that. I got a letter from him. He's a grandson of Dr. Irwin, is how you spell it, not Irvin. And I knew Mabel, Sandlin, Irwin, all of that. Anyway, was a probate judge. I wrote him about it, but they all know about this. Now, this is what they've made me out to be, called me bastard every name in the book. Supposed to have been born out. That's not even my name. And they're talking about Dr. Irwin, and nothing against him, but he's a legend in Moulton, and therefore be it resolved by the legislature of Alabama, both houses, etc. This is where it would shock the world if they knew what this Moulton, Alabama, Huntsville, the state of Alabama did to me personally. They named a highway after him. By the way, I could keep going, and I won't. I wanted to get to Dr. Ferris, who committed suicide. And I'm not going to go into what was done to me there, but he lived next door to Willard Irwin, who is Dr. The Price Irwin, who delivered the twins. He lived next door, and there's something so hellish that happened there. And everybody stood by and watched it there, just like they have through all of this. It's been done in plain sight. So I'm just going through this, and I'm going to go to another. Willard W. Irwin was the son's name. It lived next door to, and I was in the 9th grade. And one day maybe the whole mess will be told, I hope. Anyway, Dr. Ferris lived next door to Willard, out on, was that Rim Highway? I think. He was a Mason. Freemasons kidnapped me. Oh, my God. Okay, anyway, I don't know if it's making sense, but you can Google all of this. I mean, I've told this over and over. I've begged to get my name back. I wouldn't even have known if the Brits hadn't told me. I mean, they're held hostage, too. But anyway, they named highways. And by the way, U.S. Congressman Larry McDonald, who I wrote about the book, and I thought that's why all this was happening. The hell they put me through, the antifreeze and all that. I didn't know I'd been kidnapped. I found out that in late 83, when I was flown out to Larry Flint's because he had been shot. And I showed this as back. Somebody jokingly said, maybe you don't have enough evidence, which is a joke in itself. Larry Flint, I was out during a campaign to replace Larry McDonald I wrote about. He was the U.S. Congressman. Doctor, he's crook. And they named a highway after him. And I'm slam dunked up here living on the Appalachian Trail. And my God, if you could only see and show the world. I wonder if they'd call the movie The Interview, where they were going to spoof or try to kill North Korean leader. What do you think they did to my father and my mother and my country? And what do you think of this slow, ongoing murder of me? Because if it's ever unfolded in my sons, they don't want it told. I can guarantee you that.